Other interesting political news, you have Biden give teachers a raise tweet gets ratioed near immediately. Now, this isn't too surprising based on how much money he's raised for the teachers unions with, I think he's been in politics for over half a century now. A long time. And so Biden, or more accurately, probably was Queen Jean-Pierre. And I'm actually not joking. Well, it is a little bit of a joke, but it is actually based in fact because mid last year, Biden actually, allegedly Biden tweeted something, but it was actually her from her cell phone or her mobile device, or whatever device it was. And it was found out, oh yeah, she actually tweets for the president, which I don't think anyone's too surprised. And it'd be fascinating to see if Elon or anyone changes a policy on X Twitter where you have to have some type of verification where you actually are the person tweeting. And like if they wanted the staff to do it, it'd be like the White House staff or something to that effect. Now, allegedly Biden says, quote, they deserve it, and it's a big GIF or a big graphic. And it said, State of the Union, whitehouse.gov. And the big bold font is, give public school teachers a raise, unquote. Which he is serious. Which, again, I mean, the unions help get him elected. They're the one of the most, they make a lot of money and they raise a lot for campaign funds. Now, fascinatingly enough, the teachers unions get paid more and more, and yet the students perform worse and worse. You see this especially in Chicago and Chicago suburbs. It's like over 35 different of those schools. They can't even do basic mathematics or read. I mean, the ACT scores are at a 32-year low. Think about it, a 32-year low. Math, science, history, all the scores also at record lows. And granted, it is a multivariable thing in terms of what makes out the student's grade, but I also can't help but notice all the videos of the teachers, coming out with videos on TikTok teaching ideological things and not, math and science and history, which, granted, perhaps the government doesn't want you to know history because you realize how much it repeats itself, and kind of the most evil things in history usually happen when the government mandates things or when the government does things, not individual people. But nevertheless, this got 8.1 million views and 52,000 people did like it. Now, granted, perhaps that's just everyone in the teachers union, but nevertheless, 52,000 people did agree with that. Now, one of the first comments comes from Paul Zazupa saying, quote, Joe Biden has increased the national debt by $7 trillion. No one should be taking financial advice from him. Biden is trying to distract from our crumbling border and economy. He'll say and do anything to make you look the other way is pathological. I'm quoting 3.2 thousand likes. Planet of Memes says, quote, abolish the Department of Education, getting 2.9 thousand likes. Gunther Eagleman says, quote, fire school teachers who groom, unquote, getting 4.6 thousand likes. Let's see here. Matthew Jaso says, quote, why they failed students during the scamdemic, unquote, getting 282 likes. Joseph Trimmer saying, quote, our students are failing massively. You shouldn't get a raise for doing your job poorly, unquote, getting 1,000 likes, which, spoiler alert or disclaimer, I did like that as well. You also have Free Speech Studios saying, quote, Biden is trying to buy votes. He is desperate, getting 916 likes. You have Libercat Media Team M saying, quote, for what? Indoctrinating kids? Nope, all set. Also accompanied by a meme saying everything woke turns to shit, unquote, getting 1.2 thousand likes. Halaria Biden says, quote, how's about they earn it, unquote, getting 393 likes. Cameron Gilman says, quote, call illegal aliens, say your name, Laken Riley, unquote, getting 489 likes, which, yeah, he butchered her name. He called her Lincoln Riley. Going down, you have Merrick Garland press office parody account saying, quote, sure, boss, sure, let's give them a raise. And it says his little parody of Pink Floyd's album. And instead of saying the dark side of the moon, it says dark side of the groom. And the light going into the triangle says normal children. The triangle is woke teachers. And when it exits, the triangle is rainbow and it says trans kids. That got 936 likes. Yeah, you also have Joe Biden press release parody account saying, I deserve all dead person votes. I'm quote, getting 451 likes. You have DEL saying, quote, abolish the Department of Education, especially since public schools have turned into indoctrination camps. I'm quote, getting 1,000 likes. 3-year Letterman saying, quote, false Joel, teachers don't do anything except impede athletic progress. Fire all teachers and give their salaries to coaches who are the real educators, getting 463 likes, which, yeah, I would say there are a lot of examples of coaches having a great impact on students. And truth be told, giving students experience in hard work and actually, exercise is a exceedingly rare thing these days that they especially need. Discipline, unfortunately, is a very rarely used word. Scrolling down more and more, translated as any contrarian statements. You have 5 times August saying, quote, fire every teacher with a trans flag hanging in the classroom, unquote, getting 1,000 likes. You have ANCAP Air saying, quote, abolish public schools, the Department of Education, and the executive branch, and every federal, state, and local entity making up the organized criminal syndicate known as the government, unquote, getting 148 likes. Let's see here. Chris Miller says, quote, they already get paid more for working 8 months than most people do working in 12. Now throw in the pensions, clown face emoji, unquote, getting 67 likes, which, yes, that's true. They get those really nice long vacations. And, yeah, pensions are no longer viable. That's why the private sector doesn't do them. And, yeah, teachers' unions do have those juicy pensions. Lucas Gage says, defund the school board unions, unquote, getting 41 likes. Let's see. Rob Vendetti says, quote, what do teachers' unions, black churches, student debt, abortions, trying to fix the board now but don't care for 3 years all have in common? Votes, unquote, getting 73 likes. Which, yeah, I mean, if you're trying to pander to teachers, this is a great way to buy votes. Well, especially historically speaking, you'll just give them a raise if they vote for you. Let's see here. Dave Benner, nemesis of neocons, simply says, abolish rather the Department of Education, getting 41 likes. And again, this is straight from allegedly Biden's ex-Twitter profile. And I'm not, again, I mean, there are quite literally millions upon millions upon millions of people who voted for him. Interestingly enough, I'm not seeing, like, I'm looking and scrolling through trying to find some contrarian statements, or some people are saying, oh yeah, the teachers are underpaid, the teachers deserve more. And yet I'm not really seeing that. Even some of our favorite leftists, like Lou Zaleski, I'm not seeing his particular comment, and they're usually pretty active when it comes to responding to political posts. Let's see. So yeah, it looks like, yeah, overwhelmingly ratioed. Granted, I mean, we don't have all day here. I mean, if we were to scroll all the way to the bottom, this may very well be a Chris Christie phenomenon, a fascinating social media phenomenon in which there are 2 times where we were covering him during his futile attempt to run for the presidential nominee for the Republican Party. Well, some say he rolled, some say he run, but nevertheless, there are actually 2 times where he tweeted something and he didn't have a single positive response, which is like mathematically impossible. Like, allegedly, Chris Christie had friends, family, campaign staff, supposedly, and yet there are 2 times where there's nothing positive. Now, granted, in terms of responses, it's got 13,000 responses for the Biden tweet on education, and yet, again, we had to deploy some type of automation technology to scan through the whole thing. But again, just going top to bottom, I'm not seeing any positive responses. And I don't know if that's because, and interesting enough, overwhelmingly, these responses are all verified accounts. And again, I'm not sure, because if you look on like Facebook is a good example where I would say on average the users are more left-leaning. I mean, there are entire Biden campaign pages and supporters where, I mean, overwhelming, all the comments are positive. There are people who want to vote for him as many times as they can. And there are people who think the economy is doing great. He did all the right moves. He's as sharp as ever. There are people out there, or bots, or I don't know. It is fascinating to see, I mean, on X-Twitter, I mean, I'm not seeing a single tweet supporting him. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, yeah, he is obviously much more popular on Facebook. For, I don't know, maybe that'll be a whole investigative report. Wonder why it's more positive on that platform. And again, there are millions of people who voted for him, and there are a million people who do think, I mean, teachers deserve more money. Partially because of that old cliche, the old scam where they just claim, oh yeah, they deserve more. I mean, it's almost like an indoctrination drilled into your head since day one if you're in the public school system. They always say teachers deserve more money. I can't remember, there was a protest back when I was in high school where the teachers, walked out because they weren't getting paid enough. At the time, that was it around 2002 or something like that? All the teachers were making like over $100K a year to teach high school, and they had pensions to work like, what was it, 7 or 8 months out of the year? That's already an astronomical amount of money for what the job is in many ways, especially when you consider, well, again, a lot of teachers are becoming activists these days. It's no wonder so many more people are starting to homeschool. It'd be fascinating to see what type of pendulum swing there is, if there are ever so many people homeschooling where they actually could truly, move those resources from the teachers' unions to the actual parents. Because again, it didn't used to be the default in the United States in terms of the public school system. It was originally meant just to be for people who, due to a myriad of reasons, they just could not homeschool their kids, and they needed a little bit of assistance. And now it's a default. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, anecdotally speaking, I a lot of talk to my friends, and a lot of them are having kids, and I I mean, a lot of them are saying there's no way they would ever trust their student to be part of the public school system. But again, I was going to say, let me know. I'd be fascinated to hear, as always, what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, we're trying to get 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a thumbs up or a thumbs down or a comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight,